talk about my strategy. It's based off ICT concepts, but I modified it a little bit to match my own style of trading. It's as simple as having something like this: sweeps liquidity, breaks structure, retest that zone, and I go up. That's all it is. And this right here is a high time frame point of interest. It can be a fair value gap, can be an order block, can also be an inverse fair value gap, can be a high or low being swept, like as in liquidity. Do not try to attempt this trade if you do not have a point of interest. Let's say you're using the daily time frame as your point of interest. So this could be the 1 day IFVG daily fair value gap. A fair value gap is basically, if you have that, then another candle comes on the top of it, let's say here, and its wick also goes up to here, and then a third candle right here. A fair value gap is the distance between the wick of the third candle and the wick of the first candle. If there is a gap between them, that's what they call a fair value gap. So it's a good confluence for taking trades. Whenever you see one, you just know in that zone, go lower and look for trades in that zone. That's why I have them all marked here. Now, this is a bearish fair value gap. This is a very nice indicator by Lux Algo called fair value gap. You could check it out such that you don't have to try to look out for them with your own like naked eyes or something. Just put that indicator on and then you'll find all the fair value gaps. This was pretty bearish. That's why you're seeing, yeah, there's a bullish one here. So you can see candle can be of any type, so it can, as long as the middle one, let's say, is bullish and there are two bearish candles on the side, it's still a bullish fair value gap. But for starters, they might confuse you, so you can use that indicator to just visualize them, but with time it will become easy for you. There's something called an inverse fair value gap. An inverse fair value gap is when you're seeing this green fair value gap and then red ones come and cover it up, but that expanded or lengthened gap becomes an inverse fair value gap. Let's say here where you are, and then instead of the market going upwards for longer, it just turns and becomes a bearish one. So there's another candle like that, and these are bearish candles, and there's another bearish candle. This that you see that was a bullish fair value gap, when it's covered up by a bearish fair value gap that's turning, when there's a reversal, this will become a bearish inverse fair value gap. It will be inverted because these red candles covered it up and then it became bearish. That's basically it. Those are the things that you have to keep in mind. Those are the points of interest that you need the most while trading: the fair value gap, the order block, and the inverse fair value gap. So the highs and lows are pretty simple. It's just this and any other, like on the same candle. Let's say on the daily time frame, the daily high is on the last daily candle. When you say the previous daily high, it's on the last daily candle, and it can actually be a previous monthly high or a previous monthly low. Like all those can be confluences, and that's why here on the fourth I just put high and low. Can be a previous daily high or low, can be a previous monthly high or low. Any of those can be used as confluences. So what you do is, when you're using, say, like TradingView, and they're not paying me for this or anything, but it's a very good tool to have because you can use it to set a trigger at some point that when price touches this place, give me a notification. When price touches that place, you just go and find the lower time frame and look for this shape here in the lower time frame. If it doesn't happen, or if it doesn't show up, there is no trade if you're following this strategy. Imagine it was an FVG on the daily time frame, and then you're on it, and then you go lower to like the hourly time frame or the 4-hour time frame, and you're looking for this shape. The first step was this, and then inside there must be a liquidity sweep. That's the first thing, because what we are trading here is a reversal. Remember, price is coming from up. When structure is broken, there's a market structure shift, and when that happens, you wait for price to come back and retest that zone. It might just retest the order block, because when you break structure, it becomes an order block. So you see what's happening here. This is actually now an order block. This point here is an order block. So price comes back and tests here and then goes lower. So what's an order block? An order block just means two candles of different colors meeting and then one going above another. Imagine price has been going down, and then eventually there's another candle that comes afterwards and covers up this other one, and it's of the opposite color. That implies that this is an order block, and you mark it from here. Some people mark it from the wick, some people mark from the body itself. That's a bullish order block because it's turning price bullish. So a bearish order block will obviously be the opposite side, will be something like this. Price was bullish, then a bearish candle came and covered it up to change the side of price, so it becomes an order block that's bearish. Now you'll basically wait for price to come down as far as it wants. It goes down, but then you wait for it to retest the order block, then come back further down. That's basically how an order block works. Now here you're looking at price going up because, well, it's bullish now. Price is going up, so you wait for it to come back down, retest your order block, then go higher. Some people just enter as soon as the order block is created because there's a possibility of missing trades. Like as soon as it's created, someone just enters and rides with the wave. But the problem is you could just enter right away and there's a big drawdown here and you go into negatives that are very crazy. So many of these things are super detailed, so I'll have to be making different videos. I don't want to make this video so long, but also I don't want it to just be, oh, I'm showing you this tidbit and I'm done. No, I want something that can be useful to you, even though this is not a video that talks about this in extreme detail. So that's an order block. And there's one other extra benefit I want to give you. This is an order block and that's an order block. But as soon as you find that there are extra candles like this, yeah, that are being covered up, the order block doesn't start from the last one. It starts from the final candle that was covered up. Here is where the order block is in such a case. So the series of candles that were covered up that were the same color is where the order block starts. Okay, there is that. So I've showed you the fair value gap, the order block, the inverse or inversion fair value gap, and then the highs and lows that were part of market structure. The breakout structure is when price goes above, shoots up. When it shoots up, it has broken structure and there's a market structure shift. After price has broken structure, you wait for it to come back to this zone into the order block itself, like retesting the order block like we said here. You wait for price to come back and retest the order block to shoot up. Here is the same thing. So you're waiting for price to come, retest the order block and shoot. Or some people, as soon as the market structure has shifted, they enter the trade and put their stop loss down here below this low. But to have like a better entry, you have to wait for price to come and retest this zone. Better still to have a beautiful entry, enter at any fair value gap that was created by this move. Now this is the low time frame fair value gap. And then here, this was a high time frame fair value gap. When it shoots up with momentum, there must be a fair value gap that's created. Another place you can enter with here, like I've told you, you can enter on an order block that's created here. You can enter on an FVG fair value gap that's created here. You can also enter on an inverse fair value gap that can be created by this move, because when price comes down, like you saw here, when price was moving, this is the opposite, but you get the idea. When price was moving up, there was a fair value gap that was green, but then when price canceled it out or turned it, it became red. So now here, when price is moving down, there will be a fair value gap. Sometimes that's red, of course. And then when it covers it up, it will become an inversion fair value gap. So you can enter on that inversion fair value gap. Let's try out an example of how you can trade with this idea. There's an FVG that was tapped by price, so that's why we went to the 4-hour. There was an FVG from the daily that was tapped, and then we go down to the 4-hour and wait for price to move. So that was a liquidity sweep, as you can see. So the first step is done, and then right here we have the breaker structure. Comes down, a retest, and then a shoot up into an FVG or something. What we're looking for is price to break above this place, the internal market structure, not external, internal market structure, which is right here. We want price to close above, not just to wick through, but the body has to close above it. There's market structure shift here, can be up here, but there's also an order block, which, like I told you, can be marked from just the bodies. So any of them works, but you have to be consistent with whatever you choose to use. If you decide to use order blocks, use it that way. If you decide to use market structure shift, or sometimes that become breaker blocks, use that. And the words shouldn't scare you or anything. Just know where it goes, and that's all. No one will ask you about the words. Maybe much later when you're just trying to understand things better, but as long as you know how it works, that's all that matters. So here, that's where I normally mark it, but sometimes I could use it this way depending on what the market is showing me. That's the break we're looking for. We're not looking for a break very high. We're looking for just the one that swept liquidity. The last bullish candle that was there before the liquidity was swept is what I'm looking for. So when price closes above it, I know we're now in a buy program. This was a sell program, and now we've turned into a buy program. Yeah, and some people can call that change in state of delivery. You know, ICT has very many complicated terms that sound very scary, but in the end, they're very useful because you get to know how the market works. After we're done with that, I'm going to be waiting for Some people, as soon as price breaks above this zone, they'll just enter their trade, and it actually works, by the way, because especially in this case, you have a very small stop loss area, so it doesn't matter. You don't have to wait so long. You've confirmed that price has changed, so you just switch it up to the swing high. Imagine all up that side, but be safe and never show your hand so much. Stop at a realistic place. Like you can target the swing high, it works, but sometimes it might not. Sometimes price might reach here and then reverse. So sometimes it's much better to move from this part to like internal range liquidity, like to a fair value gap that you see, and then stop there. It's enough. Or maybe an order block like this one here. 5R it's enough. You have to just be realistic with your things. So some guys will enter from there, but for the most part, you should wait for a retest on this area, either an FVG or the order block itself, or an inversion FVG. In this case, we do not have an inversion FVG or an inverse fair value gap. We don't have one in this case. If we did, you'd first see a bearish fair value gap here and then being covered up, let's say like this one. Now we can make an inversion fair value gap here, because if the green covers up this, then there will be an inversion fair value gap. But remember, it will be very high and your stop loss will be down here. You'll be entering from very far. So you have to keep all that in mind when you're trading. That matters so much. Now, this is exactly what happened that I was talking about earlier. The people that would have entered right away would have gotten away with this very happily, because now for you who is waiting for a retest, you've missed the trade, and this happens. But never change your plan. Like if you've decided that you never enter right away, do not feel the need to chase the market or anything like that. You can put like a limit order here, a buy order, like right here, such that when price comes, it just tags you into the market. And I think I'll show you guys how to do that on another occasion or something. But you can use limit orders for that case and wait for price to come and tap. But if it goes on and hits, let's say, if it goes on and completes this move, then you just know that's an invalid move at that point. You just move on. But there's that. But then the problem, like I told you, this time around, the guys that entered here were lucky, but sometimes price can come back and reverse so much into drawdown this side. And this is not a nice place to be. When you're seeing yourself in negatives, you might just close before the market even kicks you out. So if you can avoid drawdown for starters, you should avoid it. But like I've told you here, there would be the ones that are celebrating, yeah, the market didn't leave me and I'm going to get like my 5R or 10R if you move to the absolute top. So that's it. And there's a fair value gap that has been formed here, and you can also wait to enter on either this fair value gap or any other that will be formed up this side, because there's another entry format for like continuations, and I think I'll teach continuations at a later stage too. If you guys are interested, please leave me some comments and show me some love, because this is like a new channel when it comes to forex content. Leave me some stuff here such that I can get the motivation to keep like creating videos like this. If you find this useful anyway, subscribe and then leave a like and drop a comment. Okay, let's proceed and see where it goes. Let me first pause right there. Now we'll go with the guys that just entered right away, that did not wait for extra confirmation, and we see how far they went. Remember, stop losses at the swing low, and make sure you give it some breathing space. You see, give it some breathing space. Don't put it right here. You'll be kicked out for no reason. And remember, brokers also have spread, so make sure. Okay, spread is just the amount of money that the broker makes off every trade you make. So whenever you enter the trade, the broker must at least have something out of your trade. You have to keep in mind broker spreads when you're setting your stop loss. But anyway, we're assuming this guy entered from here, and he's in this trade. He took a 5R, or personally I would stop here and I'd be out of the trade already with my 3.26 to be safe. But someone might feel like they can go further to like the order block. Let's see if they'll get lucky this time around. Or someone might even feel much luckier and move up to the swing high. But let's first see the person that moved to the order block. Now there's that. The market retested the FVG. I hope you saw that first. So it didn't retest this one, it's gone, but then it came back and retested this one. So someone would have entered here after seeing like, oh, there's a new FVG formed and a new order block. So they'll just enter their trade from here, from like right here on when price retests this FVG. And then their stop loss is here, and they would get their decent 1.7 or 2.8, something like that. But that wasn't the main move. That's just a continuation setup that I told you earlier about. So let's proceed and see how this will go. Okay, the person that had moved here would be out already, and this guy would be at 3/4. And anytime you see the market move up to that point, please take profit. Sometimes if you see it reversing, like, you could take profit, or at least take partials. And let me see if you reached the edge. If you wanted your 5.8R, see if you got it all. Okay, it reversed at this point and you would be at 5.5. That's enough. $20 and you'll be swimming in over 100 something. So that would be something really, really decent. But as you see, those are the rules to follow. And sometimes things don't go to plan because this is a market. So you have to know the rules you follow and never break them. That's all. As long as you do that, you'll be okay. And I'd really love to like give more examples with like gold, the pair that people love, with BTC USD, but the video will become unbearably long, so I'll just leave it at this one, and then we'll do like future tutorials about this other stuff. That's it about ICT.